guys, it's Erin or Gimme Yarn 418 and I am back with another video. This is going to be my 2019 wrap up. I'm going to talk about what I finished this year, my goals that I set, and did I achieve them. And my goals were probably the least successful as they have been in quite some time, but that's okay. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. It's just a goal, something to strive for. It's not the end of the world if I don't achieve them. But first, let's talk about knitting and what I finished yarn wise, because some of the things were crochet. In 2019, I completed 53 yarn projects. That does not include coffee covers, which I am making constantly. It does not include these little earbud pouches, which I made a lot of this year. And it does not include those finger protectors I showed you yesterday. So 53 projects. I don't know, I don't recall what my number was from last year. I think it was higher last year, but this year, I wasn't home for 2 months. I moved. There was a lot. I had surgery on my head, and so I'm totally fine with that. The breakdown of that is I knit 9 pair of socks, 6 adult sweaters, 4 children's sweaters, 5 blankets, 8 toys, 1 shawl, 8 ornaments / holiday, because one of the things I knit for that category was the fall garland, and 2 dog sweaters. Not too shabby. So let's talk about my goals. My goals were not as successful as most years. My first goal was to knit 12 pair of socks. Well, spoiler alert, you already heard. I only knit 9. Knitting on the road proved to be a little more challenging than I thought, especially because I got that strep throat and I think you guys know, I got strep throat and I couldn't turn my head for about a week and a half, 2 weeks while I was gone, and I was just miserable. I could hardly do anything other than I didn't even drive some of the time. So 9 pair of socks. My goal was to make 12 Christmas ornaments. I made 13. I actually made 13 Christmas ornaments, so that one was accomplished. 6 adult sweaters. I did knit 6. I knit the Ellison, which I'm wearing. I knit the Petula pullover for Kristen. I knit the Skog Fajal, the tree sweater, for myself. I knit the Tencho for Kristen. I knit the second Tencho, which I can tell you now is for Kristen's brother for Christmas. And I knit Santa's Workshop. And Santa's Workshop should count as like 3 sweaters because it was fingering weight. So pretty happy with that. Pretty happy. My next goal was to start the northeasterly blanket, and I did do that on February 4th, and I promptly, I think a month later, ripped it out. I hated it. Not my cup of tea. Totally fine. I had a goal to knit 200 squares into my Scrappy Happy blanket. Now, let me tell you something. My math on my Scrappy Happy blanket was completely off, so I actually have no idea how many I knit, because I sat down yesterday to count up my squares and the numbers were just not jiving. So I think I knit somewhere in the ballpark of 150 as opposed to 200, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. I think that's a good number. I cannot take the Scrappy Happy in the RV. It's just too big and bulky. I did learn last year on the RV trip, I need to take smaller projects. We'll talk about that further on down the pike, but Scrappy Happy is not a good RV travel project because the bag is huge, the minis are huge, it's just cumbersome. It's not cumbersome, but it's cumbersome. Anyway. Next goal was to try free motion quilting. Didn't do it. Fully finish 4 quilts. I didn't do that. I finished 1 mini quilt that had spools on it and 1 mini quilt that was a sewing machine that goes on my sewing table. That's okay. I wanted to start the penguin. No, I wanted to not start. I wanted to finish the penguin party top, the legendary top, and the cherry charm pack top. And I'm going to think that you've probably caught on that I didn't do any of that. I started the penguin party and I got like 3 cuts in and I stopped. And it is crazy upstairs right now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you can hear that. Oh, they're switching the dogs. That's what it is. My next goal was to put together, create, start to finish, any 6 quilt tops. I did 1. That's okay. We're into cross stitch next. I wanted to finish dog lessons for people. I did do that. I finished that in March. I wanted to do 2 Mill Hill kits. I did 1. That's okay. I wanted to start the colorful cow, which is down here, and I did start that on February 13th, 2019, and I love that project. I haven't touched it since the fall, but I'm really looking forward to getting back to that. You'll hear more about that tomorrow when I discuss my 2020 goals. And another goal was to fully finish 4 cross-stitch projects, and I didn't. I finished 2. I finished the woodland sampler, which I showed you, and I finished another one, which I will show you. Hold on. For those of you who are not cross-stitchers, I'll just explain what fully finish means as opposed to finish. When you finish a cross-stitch project, that means you've done all the stitching associated with the cross-stitch project. When you fully finish it, that means it's done. You've made it into a pillow, you've framed it, you've made it into an ornament. Anything you're going to do with it, that means fully finished. So this is the other one I finished. It's for Sadie. I meant to send it to her for Christmas, but maybe I'll send it for Valentine's Day. Actually, I am a princess. I finished this myself. It's not professional looking, but it's for a 6-year-old, so she's not gonna care. And yeah, so that's the other one I fully finished. And moving right along. My next goal was to finish any 2 cross-stitch projects, and I actually finished 7. And as I said, finish versus fully finish. So when I finished all the stitching in this, which was in October, that was finished. But when I put it in the frame, which happened in November, it was fully finished. So there's that. And those were all my goals. So let's see, I accomplished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I accomplished 6 of my goals. Not too shabby. I didn't count how many goals there were. There were a lot. But I do really well when I have goals. So I will forever and a day from now make goals every year and see how much I can get done. What do you got to lose, right? So that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys are doing well. I am, and I will talk to you again real soon in 2020.